Hey, everybody. My wife and I just had our 30th wedding anniversary. Yeah. I know what you're thinking, that poor woman. And she leveraged that to get me to do something I said I would never do in my life. A river cruise in Europe. Eastern Europe, 6 countries in 7 days. Oh, beautiful scenery, amazing history, fine wine, dining. Great, right? It was a nightmare. And not because of the cruise, because of me. My son summed it up. My wife texted him, the kids, going, "Dad's cranky." And my son Brian said, "Other people, oh no." Because some people, their greatest fear is heights. Some people, it's cable news. For me, it's going to a wedding reception where they decide to sit you with a group of strangers and ask you to mingle. I don't want to mingle. I have no small talk left. I have no filter left. And this was 1 week-long wedding reception. Because every meal is sit down, 3 meals a day, 3 courses a meal, with a waiter, and you're sitting there for hours. There was 188 passengers, the average age was 73, and I know people are going to think I'm anti-blue hair. No, I'm old myself, but it's frightening when you're staring at your future in your face. And the conversations, I finally blew up after a couple nights. I just went, okay, we covered skin cancer and plastic surgery. What's next? And this guy goes, how's your prostate? And the really, really sad thing here is I could do a whole story slam about my prostate. My daughter sent a text to my wife saying, how's Dad's tour of the great bathrooms of Europe? and the diet, it was food there was wiener schnitzel sausage 24/7. There was no gym on board. So I got all excited because they had this one bike excursion through the Austrian wine country. I go, oh great, I signed up for that. And I bike 10 miles a weekend. I make it sound like a lot, 10 miles a weekend. I'm all excited. My wife goes with me. And with us are a group of women who call themselves Q-tips. You know what that is? That's white hair on top and white sneakers. Yeah, if you're laughing, yeah, that's your future. Not so funny now, is it? So it's me, Peg, and all the Q-tips. We go there, and this lady comes out, and she walks right up to me, the instructor, and she's very tall and fit, blonde woman, and she comes up, and she sees I have a Vermont baseball hat. She comes up to me and goes, I went to University of Vermont. And I say, yeah, my son, Jack, runs track. They're real obnoxious, like the acorn fell from my tree. It's totally my wife's gene pool, but still I'd roll it. And then I say to her, I love the bike. And she goes, bends down to me, good for you, good for you. So then she's explaining the bike, and I'm looking at the Q-tips, how are they going to get up these hills I'm looking at? And they give us these pedal-assisted bikes. We're straddling them, and they're explaining it to us. It's like a motorized thing that you don't even have to pedal. And I'm complaining, my wife is always, I want to ride the bike. I don't want to do this. I hit the wrong button. I'll turn it to ET and just fly off into the thing. I don't want to do this thing. So I step off the bike to kind of complain to the lady when she finishes her spiel to say, hey, can I just use the normal bike? Hit my foot at the top of the bike, fall down, going heel over head, and the bike is still caught in my legs. So I hit the ground, then the bike crashes on top of me like the Vengeance, because I've been knocking it, crashes on top of me. I'm laying on the ground bleeding. I look up, and the Q-tips running to me, well, actually shuffling towards me. Behind them, though, is my wife, who's not doing anything other than shaking her head because she's been through this thing before. And the whole thing at that point, I realized on the ground there the meaning of life. You guys want to know what the meaning of life is? The meaning of life is it's one long intelligence test, and I'm failing it. And the thing is, I don't mind if someone in heaven and hell are looking at their monitors and going, God, look what he did this time. Oh no, we're full, you can have them. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I just don't want an audience hear about it. I just don't want people in my grill space. And it was one of the things was at night I had this nightmare that I dreamt that everybody in the ship was dead, and we're on some booze cruise to eternity. It just frightened me. So I got up out of bed, and I went to the lounge, because it's the only thing to do on the boat, because we're going between countries, and the lounge is where I could get a free hot chocolate. And I go in, and in the lounge is the entertainment for the ship, which is some crew member playing on a piano bar. He sings, American pop tunes, like Abad, Leroy Brown, Abadest man in the whole round town. Sorry for the accent, it's Meryl Streep, but just sorry for the accent. People were dancing to that. Imagine a junior high dance with walkers. So the people are dancing. So I'm backing out because I don't want to get dragged on the dance floor or get in conversation. I bump into this guy who came out of nowhere, and he says to me, he's this tall, like he had this Vincent Price kind of lunatic grin. And he says to me, "Hey, sock guy." And he points to my feet. And I had gotten out of bed, and I was wearing socks, because I sleep in my socks. Not cool young people socks down here. No, the embarrassing white basketball socks that go all the way up, and then they're scrunched up again, because that's the way Pistol Pete Maravich wore them. I know too much information. They make my feet comfy. Anyway, then he says, "I haven't worn socks in 5 years." Now, what am I supposed to say to that? Stick it to the man? I don't have a response to that. 2 nights later, I'm walking around on the deck of the ship, because there's no one there. It's freezing, and of course, I happen to have hot chocolate in my hand. I hear behind me, "You really like your hot chocolate, don't you?" I turn around, and he's there, and he's wearing all black, so it looked like his head was just floating. And I got to get out of here. It's cold, and I'll see it. And as I'm walking away, he says, "See you later, Shoeless Joe." Which annoys me, because at that point, I have my sneakers on, but I'm stuck with this frickin' nickname. And so then I saw him one other time. I'm leaving the room at night, and I step out of the room, and he's coming down the hallway again, out of nowhere. And I jump back. I'm getting the key, and I jump back in the room. My wife looks up from bed and goes, what are you doing? I go, "He's out there. Keep your voice down." She's like, "Who, the ghost?" Because she never saw him. I go, "No, he's out there. He's going to call me Socrates or something. I know it. I can't take this anymore." So what are my happy days? The happy days, well, now, because I'm standing on firm land, not trapped in some floating, haunted hotel. That's one. And secondly, I have an epiphany. And the epiphany is this, and it took me 30 long years to realize the epiphany. It doesn't matter where you go or how you go. It's who you go with. And although I'll whine and complain along the way, as long as I'm with my wife, there'll be happy days.